Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now, today's special topic is on 4D analysis using the quick graph in 4D GrandMaster module. Now, in this graphic module, we are using very representative graph lines and also icon and, of course, 4D data. Now, the graphic module actually gives you some very interesting data which you can make use to analyze a 4D number and pick a 4D number quickly, effectively, and accurately. Okay, first I'd like to explain the different interval lines and icon before I go on into the analysis proper. Now, first three lines. The first one is the green dotted line, which represent the minimum interval line, which is over here. And there is a blue dotted line, which represent the average interval line, which is here. And the third line is the red dotted line, which indicate the maximum interval line. I will explain more about these three lines later. They are very important lines which you can use it to analyze a number, whether a number is not due, in range, or overdue. And the next icon you want to look at is the big blue icon, which is the current interval, which is over here. By the way, you read the graph from the left to the right. So the current interval is the most recent interval of a number. So you read from here to the right all the way back to 14 June 2017. So it's about 5 years data from the latest until 5 years back. Now you will also see a small red icon which represent the top 3 hits. Over here there's two red icons, as you can see, one here and one here, and also the interval indicated when it hits. And also you will see some small black icon. Now small black icon indicates starter and constellation hit. For example, you can see from here, this is either a constellation or starter. It also tells you the interval it hits, which is 16. Before that it was 28, then 44, and so on. Okay, so next I want to explain the following item. Okay, we have been analyzing number, whether a number current state is not due, or whether it's in range, or whether it's overdue, and of course the current interval. So now this will give you a very good understanding when a number is not due, when a number is in range, when a number is overdue. Okay, let me just start from the not due. Now, not due will be in the range of interval 1 to 3, which means from interval 1 right up to here, the green line here, which is interval 1 to 3. So when a number is in this state, we call it the number is not due. So you can see there are some numbers that hit in here, interval 1, interval 1, interval 2, interval 1. So they hit that not due. And the next point is when a number hit in range. Now in range is when a number hit from interval 4 to 35. Okay, up to the maximum line. That means from the minimum line, which is interval 4, to the maximum interval line 35. So this is in range. So you notice that majority of the numbers are or have hit within this in range interval. So that is why I always recommend that when you pick a number, you should pick a number that is in range. If you just look at the number of hits in the in range, you find that there'll be about 60 to 65% of the hits are in range. Whereas NotDue and uh, OverDue, later I come to OverDue. NotDue, you find that there are about only maybe 10 to 20% of the hits are in the NotDue range. Okay, so let's come to the next range, the OverDue range. Now, when a number, when the interval pass the maximum interval line, which is actually 35, uh, you we call this number has gone into overdue. Okay, so when a number is overdue, uh, it can hit sometime at a very long interval. For example, it can go up to interval 72, then it hits. Okay, or some shorter interval which is 45 and 56. So you have also noticed that those number that after crossing the maximum interval line, the hit rate is also much fewer than uh, those in range. Okay, so you maybe see something like about again 15% or 20% of the hits in the overdue range. So again, when a number is overdue, usually again we don't recommend to play. Okay, okay. Then uh, after it comes out from uh, overdue, or it comes out from coma, what we have been talking about many times in the past. Now today I'm going to explain this concept of awaken from overdue in very great detail. And this is a very good concept whereby you can actually find out when a number has awakened from overdue and when it will hit prices at very low short intervals. Okay, I explain further on this. Now before that, I'd like to explain or rather define what is awaken from coma. Okay, so let me just give you a definition before I go on. Give me a minute. Now the definition of awaken from coma is as follows. So you pay careful attention, you understand this definition, then you will know when a number is awakened from coma. Okay, now when a number hits a price after a long overdue, it is said to have awakened from coma. uh, Next, thereafter it is very likely to hit price or prices at short interval. I have mentioned a little bit before. Now I want to explain in greater detail. Uh, okay, just now I was mentioning this number that hit uh, after a long overdue, right? So it hit after 45 interval. So we call at this point here's awaken from coma. So you see over the all the prices it hits immediately after 4 interval it hits. Then next one it hit again at 13 interval, and then immediately at 1 interval, that means immediately it hit again, uh, then they hit again at 13 interval, followed by 2 interval, 3 interval, 6 interval, and so on. So that's what I mean, that it is likely after it awaken from coma, it will start to hit at very low interval. Usually it's between the line, minimum line to the maximum line. Or most of the time we also hit from the minimum line to the average line. That means 4 to 15 interval. If it doesn't hit by then it may go up to maybe the second half of the Inrange, which is like, for example, here, in this case, it has a Awaken from coma at this point at interval 56. Then it hit again at interval, this is interval 16. So just past the average line. All right. So when a number awaken from coma, what I would suggest, you start buying when the number hit the minimum line. That means it hit from the minimum line, it is considered to be in range, right? Until the average line, which is interval 15. So after interval 15, if you want to stop, you can stop, because you do not know when it will come. It may go into a second coma like this, go all the way up to interval 72, then hit. So so it is best if it passed the average line, that means interval 15, then you stop buying, because if you continue like in this case, you're already caught by having to buy this number for until 72 draw, which is actually is not a good thing to do, right? So in order to cut loss, it is best you stop at average interval line, or if you want to play, at most you go up to interval 35, which is the max interval line. Okay, now I want to explain also there's such thing as a double coma. A double coma. A double coma means okay, in this case, it has gone into a coma here. It has awakened, right? And then it go into a second coma, no? That means it didn't hit a short interval after that. So it went into a second coma, which is, I told you, after the maximum line, in this case is 35. And it go into a second coma. So that is why, again, I was telling you, if after it comes from coma, you start buying and it doesn't hit maybe until the average line, which is interval 15, you may drop lah the number. You call it cut loss, like people play stock and share, cut loss. Don't go and chase the number until if you go to a long interval hit, then you may get into a lot of high losses lah. Okay, it may even go into a triple coma. No? That means it go into a second coma, right? It may again hit only after the when it go overdue. But in this example here, there's only a double coma. There are some numbers have triple coma, right? So it is good to play when a number has hit a double coma, because the next time it hit again, will be in range. You see, like for example, in this case, right, it hit again after the second coma. It hit at interval 16, which is around the average line lah, which is still good lah. You still can make some money. Okay. By the way, this example I use the number 0158. This is an example of the hits and the line charts and awaken from coma from this number 0158. So every number has a different hit chart, or graph. It's not all the same, because we are basing on the actual hits of the number. So that's why each graph is special on its own, very unique. It is not the same for every chart. So I have explained to you quite in detail how to make use of this graphic chart, as well as the icon, and of course the concept of awaken from coma to pick the numbers to play. So I hope after this you can go and look for numbers which have this kind of what do you call it, awaken from coma status. Then from there you can buy. So when we talk about number of awaken from coma, we have to look at the latest coma, no, not way back in history. It's just for your information. All right, just give you an idea how many times this number awaken from coma. So the thing you look for is the latest coma, which is in this case actually is down here. No, you see, there's a coma at interval 44. Unfortunately, it went to a second coma at interval 36. But if you follow this number after that, you will get to hit, I told you just now, right, at interval uh, 16. So let me get my cursor back. At interval 16. So if you look at the current interval now, is interval 21. You already passed the average interval line. So if you follow this, you can actually play up to the maximum line that's interval 35, okay, which is up to here. So you got something like 12 draw to play, 12 draw to play if you want to, okay. So I hope you are now familiar with this unique and powerful method of 4D analysis using this awaken from coma concept. And I hope to hear some good news from you all using this method and strike. Okay. So that's all for now. And I see you again soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.